Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey, and today we have a build video with one of our members, KayKay. And guys, we are going to build in this plot that you see in front of you right now. We are going to build a garden center for rain. This idea and this collaboration is been in the making for a while. We've been talking about it. I've been designing this idea. I've gone over here what I had in mind. And guys, here we are. We're finally here in one of our members' island and we are about to start working. So excited. Okay, so the idea is this is going to be a garden center. We're going to have 4 different divisions, right? A middle piece, another middle piece is going to lead into range, into an elevation platform. And that's where we're gonna sell stuff, right? We're gonna sell in different plots, in different sections, we're gonna sell. So, okay, so the first thing that I needed to do is, we needed to decide how big truly this idea needed to be, So at first, we're gonna use a lot of this, what I call placeholder items, right? And then eventually we can change it as much as we want. So we're gonna use the hedge arch. We're gonna use just the normal tropical seed just to make the entrance, right? And a lot of this is gonna get tweaked and it's gonna look so good at the end. But okay, so I gotta decide, especially how wide we're gonna go. Do I wanna go more this way or more the other way? So I decided that we're gonna scooch it back just a little bit, right? Because it was getting too close to the bridge. So we went ahead, re-picked everything. We're gonna push everything back. And then now we're gonna start building what we want. So at first we were gonna go kind of this size, but we decided we wanna go bigger. Like KayKay said, let's go big or go home. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna add all this. We're gonna make our first square, as you see right over here. And basically everything that you see that we do on one side, we're gonna duplicate it on the other side. That's always the process, right? This build, it does have a lot of symmetry. At the end, it's gonna be what's inside each of the square that's gonna make those square unique. And that's the great part, right? And this idea, as you're watching it, as you're following it, you can do whatever you want with it, right? You can make it smaller, you can make it even bigger, you can go even deeper, so you can continue to create another square, going all the way to the back. You can also go sideways and continue sideways because you're gonna see in the middle, we're gonna have, again, 4 more entrances leading to different directions. And that's the idea. This design, it can go in any direction, in any route, how big, how small, depending how you want. Depending your necessity, this build will work for you. So as you can see, I'm still doing the frame, we're still shaping it up. So we're gonna do something a little more different, especially on the entrance. We're gonna elevate some of the stuff. We want a little bit higher. Something that I've been learning as we continue to do island tours is that not everything has to be flat. Sometimes we can do an elevation with 1 tier, maybe 2 tier, right? So some of the entrances, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna raise some of the flower beds that we're gonna add in the future, because right now what you see is tropical seeds, right? But eventually we are gonna add some flower boxes because it's gonna give us a little more elevation, and then we're gonna place them down and we're gonna play with tiers. We're gonna have water fountain and all of that is gonna be really great. So okay, but we're still working in the main entrance. So, and as you see, we finally got one side of the square, we're getting the other side of the square, we're shaping up the entrance, right? So now I'm measuring and I'm making sure that I can duplicate what I have in the front, now duplicate it here. This is the middle. This is going to be one of the first middle, and then we realize as we continue to build that we are going to create another middle, and because it's going to lead into range that's going to be elevated. And the way everything came out working with KayKay is it was so fun. She's amazing. I love coming, getting to know members, getting to know who they are. Their personality is so much fun, and this build that we've been planning, that we've been wanting to do, it just came out even better than I expected. There were so many good suggestions that KayKay brought into the design that made it even better. A lot of the height, a lot of the extra trees that we're gonna add, it was all her decision. And like always, everything that we do, especially when I come to a members island and we're building together, we are doing stuff, but at the end, you guys are making the final choice. So KayKay right now, she's making a lot of the final choices. I just tell her, hey, what you think about this? What you think about that? And then she comes and decides if that's a good idea or not. Okay, so now we're working in this middle piece, right? And this middle piece gave me some work. I could have edited and not show how long it took, but I kind of always want to show when situation gets a little hard like this, because I needed to figure out the circle that we needed to do, right? So we're gonna have two more entrances on the side, the entrance that's gonna go again in the front, and that's gonna lead to continue to go to the back. And I could not get the circle that I designed in my graph paper to translate it here. There was something really off the whole time, and I kept trying and trying and trying until finally I got it. And it was so funny because I'm talking to myself, KayKay's hearing me, and the whole time, it was just one of those moments. But once I finally figured out, and the thing is, when you're doing circles and stuff like that, because you can move the camera and keep rotating it, it's very tricky. You forget where are you starting, where you're not starting. Like you can see, some sections I'm getting it right, some other sections I'm not getting it right, but slowly we do get there. And once we get there, and then it makes sense, everything looks great, and then we start adding the decorations that we need in the center piece, and then everything just flows together. But as you can see, I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to get this idea to work the best that I can. But slowly we did it. Here we are getting closer. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I see it. And one of the problem was I went one square too much. For some reason, I didn't catch it. I didn't see it. And I was like, oh no. But then I noticed that everything was a little too small, but it was easy. Once we had the foundation, as you can see over here, then we just needed to push everything back one square so everything feels a little bit more open in the center, especially because one of our ideas that I was talking with KayKay was to put a water fountain, the OG water fountain, in the middle of the centers. She loved the idea, so that's something that we wanted to do, but I noticed that the circle came out a little too small, so what we did is push everything one back, and you're gonna see that in just a moment. That opened something else. Once we did that, we were able to design now even more on the side. So instead of the hedges just being one, we are able to do it and make it feel like there's a little more design, a little more wider. And then once we did that, it also helped to do a little bit of tree planting, and everything worked out great. So even though the initial design, the initial draft that I had, it was a little too small, we were able to actually expand it. As you see, now it's looking a lot bigger. It fits better proportionally with what we're trying to do. And then we were able to add more decorations, more element into this build because of it. And that's something that I really want to focus, I really want to explain. Sometimes we don't have the idea that we want, doesn't really translate, right? So we tweak it, we work on it, we work really hard on it, but you gotta take that in. And once you take that, you are able to continue to evolve your build. And that's what happened here. It turned out so much better at the very end. It just evolved to something better, and I love that. I love when that happens. Okay, so we are putting the cobblestone path. This is the path that she chose. She liked the idea to use this. It matched the rest of the island, so we went ahead and put down the cobblestone, and now we're slowly shaping out the other entrance, putting the hedges everywhere that it goes to make sure that we have everything right? That's always the thing. I always say, don't go too ahead of yourself. Always make sure that, because if you mess up by one square, it's so hard to fix everything, right? And then you don't want to take everything down. So it's always so much better when you work section by section, just as we're doing right here. So okay, so we finished the circle, we're doing this, so now I can start pushing everything back again, and now we're adding the other entrance right over here, and slowly everything just keeps coming together, and it looks so good. So as you can see, there's still areas that we still gotta clear the mountain, and that's something KayKay was really helpful, really passionate. Anytime we needed something, anytime, take this down, plant this over here, let's move this, let's move that, she was always there, always ready to help, to learn, to practice. It was just spectacular. And guys, I just gotta say, she's funny, She was telling me stories. We were just having such a grand time. It was just amazing. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so now comes the moment of truth. This is the moment that we gotta now start putting rain. So the one thing initially the idea is rain was supposed to be dead center, right? That's what we wanted. But we find out that rain can be center. So we started talking, we started deciding we can go sideways, we can go this way, we can move things around. What design will be cool? So the concept that we had in our mind actually worked, right? So we decided that we're gonna go to the stairs, up the stairs, up again towards the side. We're gonna go left and go up the stairs, and then we're gonna make a platform. So we're making the outline. That's why you see all the cobblestone. We're trying to decide how high do we want to go. Not go this high, go a little higher. We're gonna curve over here. This is gonna have stairs leading to the second platform again right up here. And once we did that, we understood what we wanted, right? And then we started just clearing everything out, and we're gonna raise this level. And don't worry, guys. The Rain's building is gonna get elevated a couple more times, right? We needed to find that right height. You see that bridge back there? That bridge was so important for KayKay. She wanted to make sure that from the bridge we can also see the Rain's building, and from Rain building we want to be able to see the bridge, right? And the thing is, right now it looks like it's so easy, right? But we're gonna have a lot of jacarandas, we're gonna have a lot of fruit trees that are gonna grow, and then it's gonna cover the view. And that's when we started to notice that we need to raise all this stuff. And that's part of it. That's part of designing. That's part of how it is. You know, when you work on something, you have an idea, you can either leave it the way it is and say it's good enough. But I don't want to do that, you know, and I don't want you guys to do that. I want you always to do the best, to do the idea. And sometimes let's do the work, right? It's always better to do the work and be happy at the very end. Because if you do a build and you're happy and you're smiling and you feel proud, that's the best feeling. That is such a good feeling to have. And that's what I want every single time. It's not for other people. Always remember that. It's not for them. It's not for your friend. It's for you. Make the build the way you want, decorate it the way you want, and add the stuff that you want. Make it unique, make it your own, make it fit your style, because the person that has to be happy when you are doing a build is you, not me, you. And that's always so important, and I always like to emphasize that because I believe it. I believe that something is so important. It's a foundation of designing, because if you like to play games like this, like I do, and you're watching this, so I know you do, guys, you are the one that has to be happy. So always remember that. Okay, so we initially put the building. We got the sidewalk. We know that now it's too close, so we're gonna move the stairs, right? So, and that's the thing. You're always tweaking. We're always tweaking. We're always designing. And like I said earlier, that's why you want to work section by section. It's so important. It truly is. You know, if you don't work section by section, what's gonna happen if you go too fast and you go all the way on the back, and then you try to work on the front and work on the back again, at some point there's gonna be so much to redo. So you either gonna get frustrated and you want to start everything over, start a new island, or it's gonna be a lot of work, right? Or you're gonna compromise and leave everything the way it is. So I like this way to approach it, but approach it the way you can, approach it the way you want to play it, and find your unique way, the way you decorate. But my advice, this is my advice, is to always do it step by step, section by section. Make sure that your layout is correct even before you add more decorations, even before you do anything else, because I do believe that if you do it this way, it's gonna save you so much more time. Okay, so now we're kind of slowly working on the entrance. We fixed the stairs that are gonna turn on the top, so now we want to do the ones down here, make sure. And I noticed that I wanted to go a little more, and these stairs will change. We're gonna go again a little more closer, and because that's how, I don't know, it's just when we get to here, the circle again, this section was a little too small, so we needed to go a little more in, and those are the changes that we gotta keep doing. So okay, so the next thing that we're gonna work on is make another entrance right over here. Now this entrance is gonna lead into the river. This one is an opening, this one's gonna attach to the river, and we're gonna make a dock. Now on this video, there's not gonna be a dock, not right now, because we are coming back. This is just part one of this build with KayKay on her island, and we're gonna be back to finish it. We already got a schedule. It's a little bit down the road, but we are gonna come back and we're gonna really finish, because everything that we did on this video is gonna be the garden center, just the bottom piece, right? The top part is still needs to be done, and the dock area needs to be done. But as you can see, as we continue to duplicate, it's everything that we already did in the first front, we duplicate on the back. So if you like this design, you like this idea, you want to bring it into your town, into your island, and you want to make it even bigger, it's so simple. You just keep duplicating and just imitate it, and imitate it, sideways or deeper or long ways, right? It doesn't matter. And that's the great thing about this design. That's one of the things that I really love when I was trying to come up with this idea, with this design, and I really love it. Okay, so now we're gonna add a little more cobblestone, and I really like how the cobblestone really looks with everything that we did right here, right? It goes great with the green, it goes great with the brick, and everything just looks so good. Okay, so now this right here, this was all KayKay. She really liked the idea. She brought it up. It's like, what about if we take the centerpiece, we make it bigger in the center, and we plant trees? And then I was like, you know what? I really love that idea. And the other great thing about that is that she wanted to do the fruit trees, right? And we did that, and we added the fruit trees, and guys, it really elevated. It brought so much lush into the area, and so much shade, and it looked really great, and it was just fantastic. And I really love when you guys come up with ideas like that, because I wasn't thinking like that. That was not part of the idea, but I really love, because it really brought an element of design that's of her that matches her style, and it just blended in so well, and I loved it. I loved it so much. So she's working on that. That's gonna be her job as she's continuing to do that. So what I'm doing is adjusting all the area so we can have that, so she can continue and come and bury. So something that we did is she buried on the normal flat floor, right? But the fruit trees, they don't grow as tall. So we didn't like the way it looked. They look a little too low. So what we ended up doing is cutting them all down again. Before we put the seed, we put one block of dirt in the inside of the square, then drop the seed. That way the fruit trees are little one square, just one more elevated. That did the trick. That looked fantastic, and it just made the build, and we were both so happy. It really worked out so well. But okay, as you can see, we're working on this. We're doing this section here. We're adding all the hedges that we need right over here, and then this is the area that we're gonna do a little dock for rain. It's gonna be really cute. We're gonna make it really nice. I can't wait to work on that. I think that's gonna be just so fun to do, and I can't wait. Because the ideas, how they keep evolving when you're working with somebody that's very different than your own, right? I feel like I learn more. I feel like I'm getting better at designing. We are understanding one another. I'm understanding the style that she is, that she has, that she continues to evolve, and as a person, you know, and it's so great, and I love that, and I truly do. Okay, so all right, so we continue, right? So we finish here. We got the section. I made the openings for all the trees where KayKay is gonna come and plan all that. So we gotta do the same thing, right? We gotta do the same thing on the back, and that was something that I needed to decide. At first, I almost didn't want to. I kind of like the cliff idea, but at the end, it made it look off compared, because every other section really was complete. So we went ahead. We both decided, let's take it off. Let's make the front of the range just flat, just kind of like a normal wall. So that's what we did and all that. So as you can see, there's the trees. We saw a little glance. You see how low they are? They are a little low. So we're gonna cut them all down, and then we're gonna put one block of dirt. As you can see, you see the block of dirt? There's gonna be one block of dirt. Then we're gonna plant them. They're gonna look a little higher, and that's perfection. It's just gonna look really good. And again, it's all about taste. You may like it even deeper. You may want to go the opposite and just make it more like a bush. So it's gonna be taste, right? Okay, so now the other thing, I had too much green. It was too much green. So the next thing I wanted to try was the dark wood archways, right? And man, this looked good. And of course, we wanted KayKay to approve. She approved. She liked the idea too. I think it just gave it a little more separation, right? We wanted a little more. We were gonna have so much green with the trees, with the hedges, and everything else that I needed a little more separation. And she loved the idea, so I was so happy. So we ended up now adding the archways with the dark wood. Now here comes the moment that I was like, okay, now we need to really decide. Let's take the tropical bush out, take the placeholder out, and what we're gonna do. So in different island tours, I've been seeing how many people are using this gumwood flower box to accent builds. And man, they are so right. This flower box is so good. It looks so good. It's just, it works in so many levels in the tone, right? It's not for everywhere, but man, the design, the wood, everything. And for this garden center that we were creating, it was the perfect flower box to do, because at first we almost thought to going with the dark wood. They were a little too tall. It was not gonna give the look that we wanted. And I don't know, we needed a little more, right? We already got the dark wood with the archways. We got the green. We needed a little more, so we ended up liking the gumwood. And now we're working on the design, right? So my original design that I had was not working anymore, so we needed to structure it just a little bit. So as you can see, we are clearing some of the dirt, we're taking some of the hedges on the back. Now we're making a little more kind of like a tear down coming down, and I really starting to like that. And I was like, okay, I like it. And of course, we're being KayKay approves, she likes it. And the other thing that I was thinking of, now this is different. This is not something that we had it planned out. And I was like, we need something extra, something more to look behind the flower boxes, behind it. So we were thinking, you know what? We can add the fountain. And that worked out so great. Now we have water, we got movement, we got the flower boxes, and it's just everything was flowing, working together. We got different elevations. We got all the way from ground floor, middle. The water level gives you another little tier, just a little bit higher, but it doesn't really cover or obstructs the view. It works, and it just gives you this nice. And when you go to garden center, there's always water fountains, right? There's always water fountains just spraying everywhere, either for selling or for decorations. And I really like that, and I really wanted to incorporate that idea once we thought about it, and we did, and it just worked. And it worked, and it was so good, and we were both so happy, because that's how it is, when you're coming up with ideas and you're designing. And look at this view, look at this, and then there's all the trees grown. Once the tree really grew, it's starting to add the element. And then that little extra height, that little elevation, KayKay, what a wonderful idea you had. That just worked out so good. Okay, so we like the gumwood, so now we need to fix all the entrances, right? So the front entrances and all the entrances on the side and on the back, so we gotta fix those, because we only fixed the centerpieces, so now we gotta do the outside. And it's basically the same thing, and in every entrance it's gonna be the same style of decoration. We're doing the same thing over here. We're gonna add the water fountain right over here as well, and it's just gonna look, so when you stand and you look back, it looks so good. Okay, so now we realize with all the trees that you can't really see rains, right? So we went ahead, we're gonna take it all down, we move her out, we're gonna take it out, we're gonna raise the platform. So this is one more time we're gonna raise it, and eventually we're gonna do it one more time, because then we added the jacaranda trees, and then we needed to kind of raise it one more time. But okay, well, as we haven't realized that yet, but once we realize that, you're gonna see it, we're gonna move it. So we are gonna continue to work on the entrances, right? And we're doing the same pattern, the same design with the flower boxes, 2 on the side, 1 on the back, and then we're gonna add the water fountain here. Now, once I did the water fountain here, there was something a little bit off. I didn't like the way it felt. So what we ended up doing is adding the hedges in front of it, and we're gonna close it out, and that really worked. And eventually those hedges will go away, and you will see why. We're gonna add something really cool that really made the build feel even better. But for now, the hedges is what did the trick. And the good thing about this is, if you're watching this, you're following this, and you see something that you like more than we did, compared with the changes, and you liked it the way we had it before, that's the great thing. You can keep it, you can leave it, because it's all about taste. Okay, so now over here we gotta fix the stairs. We gotta add the frame. We're adding another frame over here. Now this feels more solid. Here we go again. We're gonna raise the rains place one more time to get it all fixed, to get it all ready. And this was the last time, and this was the right height. Once we got this height, everything looked great. And this is the other thing, don't be afraid to move the buildings and move it again and move it again. You know, move it as many times as you need to. That's always the best thing. So, and again, don't forget, the brains area is not completely done. It won't be done into part 2 of this video with KayKay the next time I come to the island. So we just kind of elevated the platform just to make sure like we have everything that kind of we wanted, just to make sure everything looked good. But we're not designing anything up there. We just placed the building just to make sure we had the right height. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the end, on the plots. What's gonna be in the center of each one, because here is where we're gonna be selling. This is where Rain is displaying some of her plants, some of her flower pots, bushes, all of that stuff. So we gotta find the right combination. So as you can see, I wanted more like little roadways, and of course, so on the front, so we're gonna add cobblestone all the way inside. All of this is gonna be dark wood, right? So they're gonna feel like tables. And then I almost went with iron, but then I was thinking, you know, iron technically is gonna get so hot on the sun. I don't know, like it didn't feel right. It looked good, but I went ahead with the dark wood, and I went dark wood, and we made the tables, and then we start adding all the things that are gonna be for sale. And each square is the same layout in each square. We're just gonna add different type of plants, flower pots, and all that. So now on these squares that we did here with the hedges, that's where we add the jacaranda trees. It's gonna look so good in spring. It's gonna give you that purple when we need it. Then throughout the year, as you can see it, it's so green. It's gonna give you a little shade because, you know, at least to the garden centers that I've been, or nurseries that I've been to, you know, there's shade. There's all these trees in different area giving shade, and then you got sections that are just full of sun, right? And I wanted the shade to be like in the middle, just where the main walkways are. Just in case it's hot, you can imagine people just standing there and doing that. So, okay, so as you can tell, we already did one section. We added all the small flower pots. So over here, we're gonna add the big pots. We're gonna add the cement one. We're gonna add all the other ones that are kind of in the same structure, because over here, we're selling this. And then we adding also, you could keep it bare if you wanted. Well, I went and added the some of the hibiscus, and that way it gives it a little bit more color. But this is gonna be choice. You can do it this way. You don't have to do it this way. Add whatever you want to make it feel more of your own. So as we continue, KayKay approved. She likes the jacaranda tree, so we're gonna do the same thing again. So we put the 4. There they are. They're growing now, and now we're gonna do again all the tables right over here. We're gonna put the cobblestone, as you can see, and then we're gonna add all the items that are gonna be for sale. So, and these ones are gonna be a little bit different. And I loved it. I really like this idea. I like how everything came out. It's different. And like I said, you can use this build and this design in so many other ways. Doesn't even need to be for this. You can make outdoor patios, like 4 different outdoor patios, because this is connected to a center or welcome center or something like that. You know, the possibilities are endless as you're tweaking this build and this idea. Okay, so this idea of the waterbed, I saw it in an island tour, and I really fell in love with it because they had it also in a nursery, and they were selling like the lily pads, and I was like, oh, that's so brilliant. And this was the first time that I finally am able to do it and put it over here, and I think it worked out so great. So, and like always, you know, you put them in each place that you wanted. At first I had them together, but I decided, you know what, let's put them a little separated just to be a little apart. I think it looked a little better. Okay, so now we had the idea to bring the vine wall to kind of close out some of the areas, not to make it feel like it's like I wanted when you walk into the square that you don't see into the distance, right? But I didn't want to just enclose everything. So the vine walls really did the trick. And then KayKay actually liked to use the vine fence as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add the vine wall and the vine fence in all this area, and it's going to look so good. So we're going to do it in all 4 squares, and it's going to block the view, and it's going to be just excellent. And look at this. It works. And as you can see on the other plot behind us, we already got him over there. So the other thing is, of course, I don't like how it just ends the vine wall just like that, because you're gonna be able to see it. So we decided that we want to add these flower boxes just to give it a little edge. We're gonna plant some of the flowers and kind of just give it a little extra touch that the build is finished, that everything's together. And then once we did this, again, everything just keep clicking, everything just keep working. So the other thing now is in the circles, we needed to add the rocks. At first we were gonna add lights, we didn't like it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add the rocks. It gives it this little, again, garden center feel, because we got stone, we got rocks. And then the other thing is we added light. So now the lights is the hardwood light, and they're attached into the archway. To every archway, we're gonna attach this light. And man, I fell in love with this idea. I never thought about it like this, but at the same time, it's kind of hidden between the trees, and it just worked out so great. It seems like one solid piece, and I really liked. I fell in love with the design more and more every time we did it, every time we tweaked it, every time we added more stuff on it. It just felt like design kept evolving, the ideas were flowing, and then I like this. We added the orange and the white. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this type of flowers right here. And then what we did, we alternate. We go one here, one there, one here, one there, and it just flows. It truly does. It just works out wonderfully the way this came out, and I really like this flower. But like always, use the flower that fits your style, fits your island, you know, everything here can be taken out and you put something out. The layout is the most important, and at the same time you can also tweak that. Okay, so this is where Rain's supposed to be. This is the area, this is the view, this is her little garden center store as of now, as of part 1, and I love it. There's still so much work to do, right? The ideas are flowing. I can't wait to get back here. This was such a fresh air to actually design something new, something unique, something that I wanted to do, and it was an amazing feeling to create something new. But there's so much more to do, so much more fun to have with KayKay. KayKay, I can't wait to come back and hang out with you. But thank you so much. And guys, you made it to the end of the video, and thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to hit a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and we'll see you next time. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.